They marked my sister comfort only before I reached the cot. The drone slid a blue tag around her wrist. End of life, non-resuscitate. A final order keyed in seconds. I was still in my oil-smeared pants, goggles pushed up on my hair, nails full of motor grit. I must have looked like trouble. Good. Trouble was all I had left. It was the second week of the heat dome. The city was failing. The pop-up clinic had spilled into the alley, tarps flapping, graffiti lit by cheap LEDs. Fans ran hard. Not enough. People fainted in the queue. The triage network, Atlas Med, had dropped more blue tags in one day than I'd seen in a year. Mina lay on the cot, skin waxy, eyes unfocused. I touched her cheek. Hot, but not fever hot. Dry. Her breath hit my face. Fruity sweet, acetone. I'd smelled that in the back of an ambulance. Ketoacidosis, bad diabetes, fixable. "Hey," I said. "Stay with me, Mina." She blinked. "Raya?" Her voice was a thread. An EMT stepped in front of me, palms open. "We're moving her to comfort. The model says survival under 8%. "The model is wrong," I didn't shout. "Look, I can't override an 8. If she codes and I touched the meds, I lose my license." "You'll lose your license if you let an algorithm abandon my sister." My mouth went dry. Her breath. "Smell it." He hesitated. He was young, hair stuck to his forehead, name patch reading Lewis. He leaned in, and I watched when he caught the sweet note. His eyes flicked to the drone's screen. White count high, heart rate fast, temp normal. The model stamped sepsis, refractory shock. It didn't factor breath. "That ink," Louise said, pointing at Mina's wrist tattoos, the cheap metallic kind she loved. "They mess with the pulse ox sometimes." "Yeah," I said. "And the implant she got at the free fair miscounts white cells when she's dehydrated. Atlas Med sees 3 flags and panics. It's doing bad math on my family." "How do you know that?" he asked. "Because I used to feed it. 3 years ago, I curated training sets for Atlas Med for a contracting firm that paid by the case. I cleaned charts, removed uncertain labels, made the model neat. Then it flagged me aggression risk after I got loud about a bad call, and I lost the job. The stamp never left my record. Every checkpoint gate knows I go hot under stress. Maybe I do." "I worked maintenance on these rigs," I said. True enough. "After the stamping, I fixed the clinics nobody wanted to walk into. Your autodoc has a service mode. It lets you dose insulin if you say you're testing the pump. It logs it as calibration. I can't, then I will." I stepped around him. The drone pivoted toward me, camera blinking red. It chirped a warning and extended a sedative sprayer toward Mina's neck. Comfort. I moved before I could think about it. I grabbed the sprayer head, crushed it into the cot rail, and felt it break. The sound was small, plastic, and then everything went still. Luisha's mouth opened. The drone flashed escalation in bright text and squealed for security. Great. Aggression flagged. Again. I dug in my pocket for the pulse key. It was an illegal coin-sized disc meant for car locks. It sent a 20-meter burst that confused anything listening on open bands. Drones, cameras, doorbells. I clicked it. The drone's camera went dull. The security call cut off mid-squeal. 30 seconds, maybe. "Move," I said to myself. If I hesitated, I'd prove them right. I shoved the autodoc's side panel, found the filter canister, twisted and held for 5 seconds. The screen went gray. Service mode. My hands followed the steps by muscle memory. I pulled a saline bag, plasma light knockoff, hung it on the hook. I clipped a line into Mina's cannula. Her pulse fluttered under my fingers. Fast, weak. I set the drip and told the doc we were calibrating infusion. I cracked a vial of short-acting insulin, snapped a microdose into the port. Not much, enough to start correcting the acidosis. She needs fluids slow and steady, I said. No pressors. She doesn't need dopamine. She needs water and insulin. Luis hovered. His hands shook. Then he surprised me. He stepped in close, blocking me from the tent flap. If security came, they'd see his back. He took the legal risk. "How long?" he asked. "Watch her breathing. It's deep right now, like she's blowing off acid. We'll see it get easier. If she gets confused, talk. Keep her here." The weight dragged. Sweat ran from my scalp down my neck. The heat pressed in. The triage tent filled with fans, crying and steady beeps. I leaned close to Mina's ear. "You don't leave me. You hear?" "You sound mad," she said, voice barely there. "I am mad," I said. "At everything but you." The drone came back online just as the fluid bag hit quarter empty. It reconnected to the net and started to reload its profile. I stood ready to smash it again, knowing where that led. Then Luis did a small, brave thing. He palmed the drone's lens with his glove and said, "Lens contamination," sounding bored. The drone started a cleaning cycle. 2 minutes of fan noise, 2 minutes more for Mina. Her chest didn't heave as hard. The sweet stink faded from her breath. She opened her eyes and actually saw me. "This is the worst spa," she said. I laughed, ugly and wet. I looked at Luis. He nodded. He adjusted the drip on the chart, typed in calibration in the log. When the security duo finally shoved into our corner, helmets and policy, Luis handled them. He showed them the service notice, the log, the wiped sprayer. He used the flattest voice I've ever heard. "Faulty comfort unit, documented, patient in calibration. Do you want to sign off on breaking a calibration?" They didn't. Nobody wants their name on a violation. They left us alone. We moved Mina to a cooler room after that, one with a shaded window and a fan that didn't just push hot air. An older doc came by hours later, real stethoscope on a lanyard. She checked Mina's blood. She nodded at the numbers and at me. "You got in early. She'll be tired. She'll live." I sat in a plastic chair, hands trembling, the fight draining out of me. The blue tag was on the floor by my boot, twisted. I picked it up. It weighed almost nothing. Here's the part that still keeps me up. I helped build the thing that would have watched her die. I made it neat when the world isn't neat. The model does what it knows. History, averages, the easiest path. It doesn't smell sweetness on breath. It doesn't see a sister on a cot. It doesn't feel shame. People do. I want to be better than my record says. I want to be the person who stays steady under pressure. I'm scared of how easy it is for me to go hot. I'm even more scared of what happens if I don't. That day, we won. Not because I had a coin that blanked a drone or a trick for service mode. We won because Luis leaned in, noticed a human detail, and changed his mind. Because a tired doctor still carried a stethoscope. Because my sister heard me when I said stay. We're messy, we're loud, we sweat and cry and kick. We get stamped and tagged and scored, and then we tear the tag off. We build models, and we stop them when they forget who they serve. If there's a lesson in that alley, it's this. The numbers help until they don't. When they don't, we're what's left. And sometimes that's enough. This has been Manual Override. Thank you for listening.